What if I told you that the most powerful success formula ever written wasn't found in a business book or TED Talk, but in 2 ancient prayers that revealed the secret to receiving unlimited support from your community and celebrating victories without becoming arrogant? You're about to discover why Psalms 20 and 21 aren't just religious rituals. They're a complete system for building the kind of relationships and reputation that create sustainable success and lasting influence. These 2 psalms show the before and after of answered prayer, the request and the celebration, the community support that launches victory, and the humble gratitude that sustains it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the most successful people throughout history have mastered both asking for help and celebrating success in ways that strengthen rather than threaten their relationships. Here's what most people get wrong. They either struggle alone and burn out, or they succeed alone and become isolated. David shows us a third way that transforms individual achievement into community celebration and shared prosperity. In times of trouble, may the Lord answer your cry. May the name of the God of Jacob keep you safe from all harm. Psalm 20 opens with someone speaking on behalf of another person. This isn't David praying for himself, but David's community praying for him. The phrase "in times of trouble" acknowledges that difficulties are inevitable. The question isn't whether you'll face problems, but whether you'll have support when you do. May the Lord answer your cry is a community commitment to spiritual support. These people are essentially saying, "We will pray for you when you're in crisis." The reference to the God of Jacob is significant because Jacob represents someone who struggled with God and prevailed. Someone who faced deception and betrayal but ultimately received blessing and a new identity. This prayer is invoking that same transformational power on David's behalf. Keep you safe from all harm isn't just protection from physical danger. It's comprehensive security that covers every aspect of life. This reveals something profound about successful people. They don't just have individual talent or determination. They have communities that actively support them through prayer, encouragement, and practical help. Building this kind of support network requires humility, authenticity, and consistent care for others during their times of need. May He send you help from His sanctuary and strengthen you from Jerusalem. May He remember all your gifts and look favorably on your burnt offerings. The community continues praying for David, asking for help from the most sacred and powerful places available. Help from His sanctuary means assistance that comes from the ultimate source of strength and wisdom. Strengthen you from Jerusalem refers to the center of spiritual and political power for God's people. This community understands that the most effective help comes from the highest levels of authority and influence. But notice the next part. May He remember all your gifts and look favorably on your burnt offerings. This references David's track record of generosity and sacrifice. The community is essentially saying, remember how David has consistently given his best, how he's made sacrifices for the greater good, and let that history work in his favor now. This reveals a crucial principle. The support you receive during crisis is often proportional to the investment you've made in others and in noble causes during good times. People don't just automatically support you because you need help. They support you because you've proven worthy of support through your character and contributions. David built this level of community support through years of generous, sacrificial leadership. May He grant your heart's desires and make all your plans succeed. May we shout for joy when we hear of your victory and raise a victory banner in the name of our God. May the Lord answer all your prayers. This is remarkable. David's community is praying not just for his survival, but for his complete success and prosperity. Grant your heart's desires means they want him to achieve his dreams and aspirations, not just survive his problems. Make all your plans succeed shows they're invested in his vision and goals, not just his immediate needs. But here's what's really beautiful. May we shout for joy when we hear of your victory, and raise a victory banner in the name of our God. They're planning to celebrate his success as their own success. This isn't jealousy or competition. It's genuine excitement about his achievement. Raise a victory banner means public celebration and recognition. They want to make sure everyone knows about his victory and who deserves the credit. This kind of community support creates a positive feedback loop. When people know that your success will be celebrated rather than resented, they're more likely to help you achieve it. And when you succeed in ways that bring glory to shared values and beliefs, your victory strengthens the entire community rather than creating division or envy. Now I know that the Lord rescues his anointed king. He will answer him from his holy heaven and rescue him by his great power. Here, David himself responds to the community's prayers with confident faith. Now I know suggests certainty based on experience and evidence, not just hope or wishful thinking. David has seen this pattern before: community prayer followed by divine intervention. His anointed king refers to David's special calling and responsibility. He's not just any person in trouble, he's someone chosen for leadership and service. He will answer him from his holy heaven indicates that the help will come from the highest possible source with unlimited resources and authority. Rescue him by his great power emphasizes that the solution will be powerful enough to handle whatever the problem is. This confidence isn't arrogance. It's based on understanding his role, his relationship with ultimate authority, and the track record of divine faithfulness. David has learned that when you're fulfilling your calling with integrity, when you have community support, and when you're aligned with ultimate purpose, you can expect supernatural assistance during times of crisis. This confidence actually becomes part of what makes the rescue possible. Faith creates the conditions for miraculous intervention. Some nations boast of their chariots and horses, but we boast in the name of the Lord our God. Those nations will fall down and collapse, but we will rise up and stand firm. David contrasts two completely different sources of confidence: military strength versus spiritual alliance. Chariots and horses were the ultimate military technology of ancient times, equivalent to modern tanks and fighter jets. Nations that possessed superior military equipment felt invincible and used that advantage to intimidate and conquer others. But David and his community have chosen to put their confidence in something entirely different: the name of the Lord our God. A name in ancient times represented character, reputation, and power. David is saying their confidence is based on relationship with ultimate character and unlimited power rather than on superior weapons or military strategy. The prediction is stark: those nations will fall down and collapse, but we will rise up and stand firm. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's based on understanding how ultimate reality works. Nations that depend only on military might eventually meet someone with better weapons or superior strategy. But people who align themselves with ultimate truth and justice tap into a source of strength that can't be defeated by human power alone. History has consistently proven this principle. Empires built on force alone eventually collapse, but movements built on truth and righteousness endure and ultimately prevail. Give victory to our King, O Lord. Answer our cry for help. Psalm 20 concludes with a final urgent request from the community. This isn't just a polite prayer, it's an passionate appeal for divine intervention. Give victory as a direct request for success against opposition. Our King emphasizes that David's victory serves the entire community. When he wins, everyone benefits. Answer our cry for help acknowledges that this is crisis intervention, emergency assistance needed urgently. This final verse brings together everything from the psalm, community support, spiritual alliance, confident faith, and urgent need. It also sets up the transition to Psalm 21, which celebrates the answered prayer and fulfilled victory. The progression is crucial for understanding how sustainable success works. Community support leads to divine intervention, which produces victory, which then requires proper celebration and gratitude to maintain the relationships and spiritual alignment that made the victory possible. This isn't just about winning once, it's about creating a sustainable system for ongoing success and positive influence. How the king rejoices in your strength, O Lord. He shouts with joy because you give him victory. Psalm 21 opens with celebration and proper attribution. David isn't celebrating his own cleverness or strength. He's rejoicing in divine strength that was made available to him. How the king rejoices suggests exuberant, unrestrained joy. This isn't polite gratitude, it's explosive celebration. He shouts with joy indicates public, vocal expression of happiness and gratitude. David isn't trying to be cool or sophisticated about his victory. He's genuinely excited and wants everyone to know it. But notice the focus, because you give him victory. David gives complete credit to the source of his strength and success. This is psychologically and socially brilliant. When you celebrate in a way that gives credit to the ultimate source of your success, you avoid the arrogance and isolation that often come with achievement. People don't resent your success because you're not claiming all the credit for it. Instead, your victory becomes evidence of divine faithfulness that encourages others to trust the same source of strength. This kind of celebration actually increases your influence and strengthens your relationships rather than threatening them. For you have given him his heart's desire, you have withheld nothing he requested. David acknowledges that his victory wasn't just survival or minimal success, it was complete fulfillment of his deepest hopes and dreams. His heart's desire refers to the things David wanted most, not just the things he needed for basic survival. You have withheld nothing he requested indicates that the victory was comprehensive and abundant, exceeding even David's expectations. This is remarkable because it shows the level of blessing that becomes possible when you have community support, spiritual alignment, and proper character. David didn't just escape his problems, he achieved his dreams. This level of success requires more than just individual effort or talent. It requires the kind of supernatural favor that comes from living with integrity, serving others, and maintaining proper relationship with ultimate authority. But notice that David's celebration focuses on gratitude rather than pride. He's amazed by the generosity of blessing he's received, not impressed with his own worthiness to receive it. This humility is part of what makes continued blessing possible. People who stay grateful stay blessed, while people who become arrogant often lose what they've gained. You welcomed him back with success and prosperity. You placed a crown of finest gold on his head. He asked you to preserve his life, and you granted his request. The days of his life stretch on forever. David describes his victory as a royal reception with honors, gifts, and guarantees. Welcomed him back suggests he had been in exile or danger and is now restored to his proper place with celebration and honor. Success and prosperity indicates that the victory brought both achievement and material blessing. Crown of finest gold represents the highest honor and authority being bestowed on him. This isn't just survival, it's elevation to a new level of influence and respect. He asked you to preserve his life reminds us that David's original request was simply to survive his crisis. You granted his request acknowledges that the basic prayer was answered. But then comes the abundance. The days of his life stretch on forever. David received not just temporary safety, but long-term security and the promise of lasting legacy. This pattern reveals how divine blessing works. When you ask for what you need with proper heart and proper support, you often receive more than you asked for. The key is maintaining gratitude and proper perspective about the source of blessing, which David demonstrates throughout his celebration. Your victory brings him great honor, and you have clothed him with splendor and majesty. You have endowed him with eternal blessings and given him the joy of your presence. David's victory creates a reputation that extends far beyond the immediate situation. Great honor means widespread recognition and respect from others. Clothed him with splendor and majesty. Uses imagery of royal garments to describe the dignity and authority that now characterize David's public image. This isn't just about looking good. It's about having the kind of presence and influence that commands respect and opens doors for greater service and impact. Endowed him with eternal blessings indicates that the benefits of this victory will continue throughout David's life and beyond. Given him the joy of your presence is perhaps the greatest blessing of all. Ongoing relationship and communion with ultimate love and wisdom. This shows the complete transformation that can result from navigating crisis with proper support and proper character. David didn't just solve his immediate problems. He emerged from crisis with enhanced reputation, increased authority, lasting security, and deeper spiritual relationship. This level of comprehensive blessing is what becomes possible when victory is achieved through community support and divine intervention rather than through individual effort alone. For the king trusts in the Lord. The unfailing love of the Most High will keep him from stumbling. Here's the foundation that makes all of David's success sustainable: trust and divine faithfulness. The king trusts in the Lord explains why David receives such comprehensive blessing. It's not just because he's talented or deserving, but because he maintains proper relationship with ultimate authority. Trust isn't just an emotion or attitude. It's a way of operating that acknowledges dependence and maintains humility even in the midst of success. The unfailing love of the Most High describes the character quality that guarantees continued support and blessing. This love doesn't change based on circumstances or performance. It's constant and reliable. Will keep him from stumbling, promises ongoing protection and guidance. David won't just achieve success and then crash. He'll be sustained in success through continued relationship and divine care. This is the secret to lasting success. Maintaining the same trust and humility during victory that you had during crisis. Many people succeed only to fail later because they stop trusting and start relying on their own strength and wisdom. David avoids this trap by celebrating his success in a way that reinforces his dependence on divine strength and community support rather than inflating his ego or creating isolation. You will capture all your enemies. Your strong right hand will seize all who hate you. You will throw them in a flaming furnace when you appear. The Lord will consume them in his anger. Fire will devour them. David's celebration includes confidence about future victory over opposition. You will capture all your enemies indicates that this victory isn't just temporary relief, but the beginning of comprehensive defeat of all opposition. Your strong right hand refers to divine power being exercised on David's behalf. All who hate you connects David's enemies with those who oppose ultimate good and truth. The dramatic imagery of flaming furnace and consuming fire represents complete and final defeat of evil and opposition. This isn't cruelty or revenge. It's justice being served against those who persistently choose to oppose truth, righteousness, and the well-being of others. David understands that his personal victory is part of a larger cosmic battle between good and evil, truth and deception, justice and oppression. His confidence comes from knowing that he's aligned with the winning side of that ultimate conflict. This perspective transforms how you think about opposition. Instead of taking attacks personally or becoming bitter about criticism, you understand that standing for truth naturally creates opposition from those who prefer deception, and you can have confidence that ultimate justice will prevail even when immediate circumstances look difficult. You will wipe their children from the face of the earth. They will never have descendants. Although they plot against you, their evil schemes will never succeed, for they will turn and run when they see your arrows aimed at them. David continues describing the complete defeat of opposition, including the end of their influence and legacy. Wipe their children from the face of the earth and never have descendants. Represent the complete end of evil influence, not just temporary defeat, but permanent removal of the threat. This is the ultimate victory, not just protecting yourself from attack, but eliminating the source of attack so that future generations don't have to face the same threats, although they plot against you. Their evil schemes will never succeed acknowledges that opposition will continue to try strategic attacks, but promises that all such efforts will ultimately fail. They will turn and run when they see your arrows aimed at them suggests that eventually, opposition will become so discouraged by repeated failure that they'll retreat without even attempting to fight. This level of comprehensive victory comes from maintaining proper alignment with ultimate truth and justice over time. Eventually, people who consistently oppose what's right become known for their failure and lose credibility, while people who consistently support what's right become known for their success and gain influence. Rise up, O Lord, in all your power. With music and singing, we celebrate your mighty acts. The Psalms conclude with a call for continued divine action and community celebration. Rise up, O Lord, in all your power is a request for ongoing demonstration of divine strength and intervention. Not just in David's situation, but in all situations where truth and justice need to prevail. This shows that David's experience has increased his confidence in divine power, and his desire to see that power displayed for the benefit of others. With music and singing, we celebrate your mighty acts brings the community back into the celebration, ensuring that David's victory becomes a community celebration that strengthens everyone's faith and confidence. Music and singing create emotional impact and help people remember important truths and experiences. By celebrating with music and singing, David ensures that his victory becomes part of the community's shared story and source of strength for future challenges. This is how individual victory contributes to community strength. When success is celebrated in a way that gives proper credit and shares the encouragement, everyone benefits and the entire community becomes more resilient and confident. These two Psalms show us the complete cycle of sustainable success: community support during crisis, confident faith in ultimate authority, comprehensive victory that exceeds expectations, celebration that gives proper credit and shares encouragement, and ongoing trust that maintains blessing and prevents pride. David demonstrates that the most powerful success formula isn't individual achievement, but community-supported, spiritual-aligned victory that strengthens everyone involved, from urgent prayer for help to exuberant celebration of victory. From trusting in ultimate authority rather than human power to sharing success with those who supported you, these Psalms provide a blueprint for achieving success in a way that builds relationships rather than destroying them, creates lasting influence rather than temporary advantage, and produces ongoing blessing rather than isolated achievement. If these Psalms inspired you to think differently about asking for help or celebrating success, share in the comments about a time when community support made the difference in your life, or when celebrating someone else's victory brought you joy. And if you want to continue exploring these timeless wisdom texts while mastering English, subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, we're diving into Psalm 22, one of the most emotionally intense and prophetically significant psalms, where David reveals how to maintain faith and find meaning even in the darkest circumstances. Remember, learning English through these ancient texts isn't just about language skills, it's about discovering principles that can transform how you approach challenges, relationships, and success itself.